Now of course you wanna know if I have come from the bus stop already after the previous video. Of course I have. I am here now at the Opera House of Düsseldorf, whining because my favorite dancers left at the end of the season, and so did their boss, Demis Volpi. He took some of the dancers with him to Hamburg, and the rest go to God knows where. So I feel now pretty devastated and blue. What do you want, Fernando? Have you never heard that the world of ballet is cruel? For the dancers, yes, but also for the audience. It won't change anything if you whine here. They will go anyway. I know. Of course, I wouldn't commemorate my sadness in itself. You can't sell that, and anyway, we are all here to have fun. Still, I definitely wanted to sing my song about this ballet company. However, at the same time, my grief about the leaving of many of them seems to be pretty lasting for now. In fact, I think I became temporarily mad at ballet in general. So, instead of directly expressing my unbridled adoration, I will disguise it behind a kind of spreading information. I will recommend ballet pieces to total laymen, choosing pieces from those I saw here in Düsseldorf or in Duisburg. There is a few. I learned everything from these guys. Let me out of here immediately, or I will call the toughest animal protector groups you can imagine. They will make a good duck sausage out of you, with a lot of garlic. It's a provocation. Only if your owner is a vampire. I have rights. Wow, you are just too well informed. Fernando. Jeez, are you always this tall? For some time past. Is your name really Fernando? You looked completely different before. You look more like a Stuart. Is that why you called me in? Oh no, you should remove some part of the stage decoration. Don't you dare! Why did you bring them in if you want to take them out now? I guess I just wanted to attract more viewers. What an amateur. I have much more sophisticated methods to endear myself. Good for you. You wanna see? Oh, sure. Oh, Jesus, he's dancing foresight. Come on, guys, let's take her quickly. In this video, I will rely on the help of these experienced models from the social media. These cute little puppies were shared by their owner in exchange for a virtual like. They must have wanted some love and recognition. I wish I knew this feeling. I haven't even seen my contract yet. How much do we get for this gig? I didn't even agree to this. If you don't pay, then this is pure exploitation. Why are you doing this? I know you just love the spotlight. Of course, none of the cute puppies get hurt during the making of this video. I'm only saying this because in some of my other videos I am also making right now, it might not seem so obvious. Would you please give me the chainsaw? This is an octopus, and this is its nervous system. Now, let's see how it looks like in a dancer. Fernando! Well, these cute, arrogant doggies represented the many ballets that I saw with ballettamrhein between 2021 and 2024. Every piece is represented here only once. For instance, I have seen Saltworm by Sharon Eyal at least 10 times already, and when they dance it again, I will go again. At the same time, this gathering here includes only once those pieces which I unfortunately saw only a few times, but the experience was up to with all the other performances together, such as Ball by Aszure Barton. Oh my dear Jesus, Ball. We really have to talk about it. I would go watch Ball even on a weekday if it were danced again. I would report myself sick from work and pitch a tent in front of the opera house. I definitely would sit there every time. I'm not kidding. I would sit there every single evening. Every damn evening. Can you hear me? I have no idea how many different ballets I have seen, and I didn't even count the cute puppies either. I love all of them, and I have loved every ballet performance so far. I never went home regretting the money I paid for the ticket. If I like a piece less than the others, then I only go and watch it only 3 times and not 10 times. if the choreography is not so close to me, I still appreciate the work the creators put in it. I can even see its beauty. It was just a little less kick in my stomach than other pieces. And why else would one go to the ballet if not for being kicked in the stomach? Well, I would gladly do it for you if it is your wish, and I will scoop some ground on her. Wow, these ballet performances are a little bloodthirsty. By the way, I choose the pieces I want to see after really mature deliberation. If it's weekend, I go, even if a general Armageddon has broken out and 3 Godzillas are waltzing around in every bigger city. In the first year of my ballet addiction, I tried to watch as many pieces as possible, in as many cities as possible. But on the one hand, this is much more difficult to organize. On the other hand, I realized that I profit much more by seeing the same choreography several times. Fortunately, the guys in ballettamrhein dance quite a lot. Each ballet company has a special atmosphere, but I still don't understand exactly why. Is it determined by the dancers? Perhaps by the director of the company? Or maybe by the ballets they perform? Just the same, ballettamrhein is particularly close to my heart, but I have no clue why. Somehow from the very first moment I stepped in the Düsseldorf Opera House, I feel like I'm home, and at the end of the performances, I usually don't really want to go home. The company was led by Demis Volpi from the season 2020-2021 until the summer of 2024. He just happened to take over the house exactly when I bought my first theater ticket ever for a ballet performance, and I started showering all my earnings into the box office of opera houses. Apparently, Mr. Volpi was not too lucky with his appointment. He got it during the corona epidemic when everything was closed, and the dancers were not allowed to get close even to each other, and especially not close to the audience. It must have felt like taking over a long-established, old-fashioned family bakery in a recent world that is hardly supported by the modern nutritional science. I hereby hand you over the keys to the family bakery. I hope you will be able to lead it as well as I did. But remember, a lot has changed since I started this shop 50 years ago. Unfortunately, you cannot use refined sugar because you have to think of the mass of consumers with diabetes. And you mustn't use eggs, nuts and peanuts because of all those allergy sufferers. As a result of gluten sensitivity, you need to throw all traditional flours in the trash. You cannot use milk because it is an exploitation of animals, and many are lactose intolerant. Forget about cocoa and chocolate too. After all, they cut down whole forests for their production. And if you use any artificial coloring matter and the customers find it out, well, you can bet they will set your store on fire. The last one you have to remember is not to use genetically modified or sprayed fruits imported from the other side of the world. That's it. With the remaining ingredients, you can keep on working nicely. Good luck, my son. Well, from this situation created Demis Volpi sold out ballet shows in Düsseldorf and in Duisburg. I am so thankful for him and his company. They helped me through such a dark period that I don't even want to talk about. And it was not just the epidemic. I once wrote about it in an email that, of course, I never sent. It is interesting that he came to Düsseldorf at the same time when my ballet mania broke out. If it hadn't happened like that, I wouldn't even know who he is. I'm only telling you about all this because I read his biography, and it turned out that he worked and lived in the same cities in which the characters in my novel did, and most of my book was already finished, and I heard of him after that, much later. Who's gonna believe this to me? And besides, who cares? Good point. Demis Volpi took over the leadership of the Hamburg Ballet in August 2024 and left my favorite ballet company, and so did many of the dancers. Well, somehow, I will survive. I will miss them terrifically, but, you know, I mean, it gets easier every day, but still, it takes a while until I... What do you want, Fernando? They won't miss you. I know. I just wanted to show human feelings to arouse sympathy. It increases the artistic value of the video as well, and offers the possibility of identification for those who have already lost a ballet company. That's the message I wanted to convey. Well, it didn't work out that well. Fernando, you don't like me, do you? Dancers' lives are just like that. We come and we go. Now I have learned. Why aren't you glad about them? Maybe they will be happy there where they go. My feelings don't matter at all. Well, until you buy the tickets, not much. I saw a lot of great ballets in Düsseldorf and in Duisburg, and I have chosen 3 of them, which I recommend to those who never have seen a ballet in their life and still think that ballet is exclusively caused by girls in tutu and boys in tights. Ballet is so much more. By the way, those classical pieces are also worth trying. I didn't know I liked them either until Daniel Simkin pirouetted into my life. But now, let's start with something that expands the horizons of a novice ballet visitor. But roughly. Let's have these 3 ballets. If you don't give me food right away, we will post about you in every social media platform. Besides, I am underaged. And I have asthma. It's fine, just don't try it. Here's a pretzel. Why do people eat pretzels at the opera house? Does anyone know? Oh my god, you can kill someone with this. The most important thing is, in case you are a choreographer and I mention you in this video, please keep in mind that I like your work a lot and absolutely respect you, so anything I tell about your pieces serves the same purpose of spreading information and attracting more people to watch ballet shows. No one I know watches ballet. Even my friends don't watch ballet. They just don't know how awesome things you guys create. So believe me, I am totally on your side. You are afraid of ballet people, aren't you? Sure I am. They might totally misunderstand me because of all the dumbness I might say here. They don't know that I still don't have any idea about ballet. I just totally love it. I tell them if you want. Oh, how cute. Then I help them grab your body after they are finished with you. Oh my god, why did I even start all this? If you are young and you like, the modern stuff, and you try to dance to techno-like or trance music at the weekends, you must see Saltwom. And also, when you would like to see dancers bathing in their own sweat by making small but painfully slow movements for at least 30 minutes, you must see Saltwom. I'm always totally mesmerized by the impact this piece has on its audience. The most of them are ecstatic, even the elderly, who are definitely not ready for the modern machine music Sharon Eyal tends to use. I am not a techno fan either, but this piece is so good that I just forget about it. The first time I saw it, I was sure that it is the ballet that makes dancers quit their job right after the very first rehearsal. It is physically very, very intensive. Too, they don't jump or turn or anything like that. They don't lift each other, they don't even make too many different moves. Just imagine a long and hard cardio training, but slowed down to at least 25%. Imagine 24 squats in a row that are performed so slowly that each phase of the movement lasts for long, long seconds. This is exactly what the dancers in Saltwom do, and the piece is very long. Mostly it remains slow. There is only one big tempo change in it if I remember well. The whole ensemble moves to the same rhythm, the same choreography for a long time. Then, at one spot, suddenly something happens. Someone stands out and makes another thing, also slowly but with full force at the same time. When you see it for the first time, you might think, it seems easy. With some stamina, you could do those movements yourself, but believe me, if you don't have a well-educated body, you couldn't. You have to be blind and dumb if you don't see the giant amount of physical work dancers invest in this ballet. And I think the audience also sees it every time, because they really do backflips after it. I wonder how hard it could have been at the beginning of her career for Miss Eyal to get her ideas through the traditional ballet world, because at first sight it is something totally different. Still, if you watch closer, you see that this piece requires dancers with a knowledge about classical ballet and an enormous amount of force and stamina. I just love the whole thing, partly even the music that perfectly serves the choreography here. I like that the male and female dancers are clothed very similar and has mostly the same movements, because they have the same task here. It just doesn't really matter what gender they have. I love the way female dancers are led to express strength, That beautiful ballerina you saw dancing in a traditional fragile female role in ballet shoes and in a lovely skirt in any other ballet piece, now almost jumps on you and tears out your heart with her bare hands. You can definitely say I like horror movies. The whole piece radiates strength, and I love strength. The dancers pretty probably also love the end of it, because they can have a shower and then go to eat up at least 5,000 calories they have just burned dancing in saltworm. A giant pizza with 3 hamburgers on top of it, filled with everything you have, for every single person here. With sour cream on top, and really fast! Anything to drink? Coke or orange juice? Are you crazy? We are ballet dancers, we have to stay in shape. Only water, man, only water. Food! In the 2 years it was danced by Ballettamrhein, I bought a ticket over and over and over again every time I had the chance to watch it. And every time I have bad moral issues with it. The more ticket I buy, the more I express how great this ballet is. And the more the poor dancers have to dance themselves to death. I know it is their job and they might like it, but still, this ballet is a beast. Probably that's why people like it. You're going to think that too when you go and watch it. There's actually a lot of beast in it. And I am sure you will have flashbacks even months after you have seen it. It really does something with your brain. I like it. I was always mesmerized by male friendships, since my childhood. I never really cared about the romantic stuff, you know, the girly things, like the beautiful lady falling desperately in love with the blonde blue-eyed prince and waiting for him for the rest of the story. But really, girls, don't you have anything else, more interesting to do? I never had too many female friends. They like this shit with love and romance, and I'd rather watch an old war movie where men are fighting together, solving problems and helping each other out. Almost everything I watch, read or write myself is about male friendships. One of my all-time favorite songs is It's Probably Me, performed by Sting and Eric Clapton. It is totally about male friendship, just as the movie it was written to. My favorite movie ever is Killing Fields, a British drama from 1984. It takes place in Cambodia, the time when Khmer Rouge took over the country and killed more than 1.3 million people. A really tough drama about one of the darkest spots on the body of human history. Krabat is also pretty dark at the beginning, and it is all about male friendships. The most part of it is about boys working together, sometimes having fun, sometimes even cry for each other. A lot of beautiful motions and beautiful movements. But by the way, I especially liked the choreography the girls dance in this ballet. The story of Krabat is pretty easy to follow, even if you are not a veteran theater visitor. It is not abstract, you don't need to think too much what the heck the poet here meant. It is a nice, clean, but deep story. The other thing what comes to my mind about this piece might sound a bit strange. By the 3rd year of my ballet addiction, I learned an interesting expression from the very few ballet critics I read. It is movement vocabulary. Every choreographer has their own movement vocabulary that includes the movements and the way they link the movements, and it shows his or her style, their way of thinking about dancing. Every single choreographer has their specialty, movements that are really characteristic to their works. With time, I learned to recognize a few of them. Some choreographers are so special in their way of arranging their thoughts through the dancer's body that it is easy to identify their work, even for the uneducated eye. Then, the next time I see something else from the same choreographer without knowing that it is his or her piece, I can sometimes identify the owner of the choreography in the first few seconds or minutes. It is a heartwarming feeling, just like meeting a good old friend. When I watch a ballet of a choreographer I have never seen before, I am always curious what this person has in his or her movement vocabulary. What does this artist think about human movements? For example, I can identify Balanchine pretty fast, but I really don't know why exactly I can tell it must be his piece. With other artists, I can point at certain peculiarities. Very small, slow, repeating movements of a big amount of dancers, standing really close to each other, Sharon Eyal. Legs crossed, one leg back on tiptoes, hand close to the face, Helen Blackburn. Big, wide movements, William Forsythe. I bring this whole thing up because it absolutely doesn't work with Demis Volpi. At least not in my mind, though I already know exactly that he has his own special movements. I am just not sure about them yet. What pretty strange is, considering the fact that I've been watching his choreographies for 3 years straight, over and over, from every angle possible. I found that for me, as someone who doesn't have any idea about this art form, Demis Volpi's specialty resides not necessarily in his movement vocabulary, but in the whole picture of his pieces, exactly like with John Neumeier. What a lucky coincidence that Mr. Volpi takes over Hamburg Ballet from him. Maybe Mr. Neumeier chose him because they think the same way about ballet. The point is, I probably could recognize a Demis Volpi piece at first sight, not in the first few minutes, not in the first 5 minutes, but after, let's say, 20 minutes. The general idea, or the comprehensive work, or the whole atmosphere of the ballet, that comes probably from the whole scenery of the whole stage, the lights, the dancers and the choreography itself, shows it pretty clear that it must be a Demis Volpi work. And I still cannot tell why. Maybe I really should read more critics, just to learn something from them? How should I get you closer to at least some aspect of Demis Volpi choreography? Without spoiling, of course. Let's try this. Look, this is a cello. Nothing special, a classical instrument, really nice tone, so why not? Here is one more cello. Still, nothing special. Let's add another one. And another one. Let's add a few more. Here, 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 here. Oh, what is that? A stegosaurus. A bit different, but still looks good, so why not? And here another few cellos. I guess it is exactly why I like Demis Volpi's pieces. He keeps a lot of the classical and builds in just as much of the modern as it is necessary, and not more. It becomes modern enough, but not tawdry or garish. He doesn't try to force down any up-to-date movement or political message or something like that on your throat. Or if he does, he makes it really smart, because I swear I haven't recognized it yet. His ballets remain neat. I guess that is why the young and the older people also buy the tickets for his ballets. He has just a good sense of proportioning, and the choreographies are, by the way, also really nice. Are you here? Yes? Have you seen what he made of Giselle? Sure I have. From every angle possible, or almost. And you still say he is 13 cellos, and only one stego. Sure, was it not modern enough for you? But he kept the moves. How far was that from the classical ballet? It was pretty close if you watch only the choreography itself. How many stego has John Neumeier on your scale? So you don't like John Neumeier? I do, but he's already too modern. 3 stegos. It doesn't mean a thing. How many stegos does Sharon Eyal have? So you don't like her ballets? I love her ballets. You just don't get the whole idea. 8 stegos. It doesn't mean I don't like her ballets. Now prove me that you liked Giselle. You just keep provoking me. That's why you gave me the role. You want a Demis Volpi tier list of the pieces I saw? Okay, you wanted it. Actually, we don't need this. Krabat, tier A. Surrogate cities, tier A. Giselle, rather B. Non-fiction etudes. Also B, but my heart bleeds for this one. It was the third piece of a ballet evening with 3 exciting ballets, and I was just too tired to be able to look at it closer, but probably tends to be an A. Ebony Concerto, tier S. Ha! I knew! You didn't like Giselle. Tier B means for you that I didn't like it. And Ebony Concerto on top. With Futaba Ishizaki and Mike Martinez Pedro? What are you talking about? Sure it is on top, forever. But it is only a few minutes long. Ask the dancers how long it actually feels. I just cannot follow you. You don't need to. I watch literally every ballet I can get to, and I can proudly say I still don't have too much idea about it. But when I first saw a ballet of Miss Barton, my face lighted up immediately and I thought, that's it! This artist speaks exactly my language. This is precisely the same thing I would do if I were a choreographer. I was lucky to see many of her pieces on stage, and she became certainly one of my favorites. Her pieces are very amusing, even when you have never seen any ballet in your life. One thing I still don't know is how she pronounces her name. According to my Hungarian way of thinking, it would be Aszure with S. According to my knowledge in German, it could be Aszure with a C. I guess she says Azure in some American way. I also try to do so and hopefully don't make a big mistake. What do you want again, Fernando? You're afraid that she kicks your ass, aren't you? Sure I am. There is a 30 to 40 minutes introduction speech before every ballet show in Germany. Maybe you should visit them sometimes. Then you would know how choreographers say their names. I am happy that I can see through the show itself without getting panicked. There's those many people all around, and that stuff. So you are not interested? I am interested. Then go and listen to the introduction. I suddenly started wondering why I wrote you in the script. And what have you found? I just needed someone to talk to about ballet. I'm afraid Demis Volpi wouldn't talk to me. No, he wouldn't. You just don't let me have any illusions. No, that's not my role. Don't you have something more important to do in the wings? Do those, dancer things. There must be some brand new point shoes you have to ruin. The girls will be happy. There's a 30 to 40 minutes introduction talk before every ballet show in Germany. Maybe you should visit them sometimes. And maybe you could talk even to some of the choreographers. Hey! You deserve this. Do you know what I just discovered? You are not a cute little puppy. You are an old asthmatic doormat. I wonder who cast you? I prevailed through my talent. Oh, your personal charm worked, huh? Yeah, something like that. Can I smoke? No. Just as with Sharon and Eyal, I cannot tell what an Aszure Barton ballet does to my brain. Demis Volpi is famous for his storytelling, but Sharon Eyal and Aszure Barton grabs directly your soul, even when you cannot follow the story or the intention of the artist. And that is exactly why I go to the ballet. And that is why I don't listen to those introduction speeches before I watch the ballet. I don't want to know what I should see. I want to discover the ballet for myself. And believe it or not, with a great choreographer and with great dancers, the intention of the piece always shows itself. Of course I am interested what Aszure Barton wants to tell, and I seek for information about her pieces after I watch them. But first, I want to see it for myself. And I just don't want to think. I have to think just all the time. I think at work, at my hobbies, at playing music. Leave me just alone with thinking. I want to shut my brain down for a while. I take my soul to the ballet. I am tired of thinking, and any ballet of Miss Barton is perfect for my soul. The piece called Come In was one of the very first ballets I have ever seen. And unfortunately, I see it only 2 times. Still, I want to talk about this one, because firstly, it is really nice and really a good start if you have never ever seen a ballet. And secondly, if I don't talk about this one, I have to talk about another Aszure Barton choreography, Ball. And I am not ready for that yet. Oh, Ball. Okay, I don't start it over. Come In is a really neat, calm piece, but still kicks you in the stomach. At first sight, nothing special. There's a lot of boys in it, with nice, smooth movements. Nothing to be scared about. Then there are chairs. Boys and chairs, that's it. And you might think, oh, that doesn't sound too much. And I watched it, and I liked it a lot, and at the end of it, I started to cry. I have no clue why. I was looking at myself and wondered, what the heck is going on? I really don't cry that easily. I am the heartless one who didn't cry at the end of the Titanic movie. I don't really like romance, if you remember. Aszure Barton can do something with your soul. I still don't have any answer how she reaches that. Come In is a beautiful piece itself, and the music of Vladimir Martynov behind it also makes its impact on you. Aszure Barton has a great sense for music. Okay, I suppose you cannot be a dancer or a choreographer if you don't have a close relationship to music. How would it look like? Hello, sir, I would like to be a doctor, but I don't really like people. One more thing that puts her on the top for me is her great sense of humor. To boot, I think she is the most versatile choreographer I have seen so far. It doesn't matter which of her ballets you come across in your life. Just grab a ticket and watch it. Believe me, it doesn't matter if you are a plumber or you are a professor of philosophy. When this artist could get through my pretty simple barbarian brain, you will also like and understand her. You don't need here a special education. Her ballets can show you a lot about the feelings we all have from time to time, and she really doesn't want to tell you what you should think. Just go and watch yourself. Don't die without seeing an Aszure Barton piece. I want to die. Hey, you really should go home now. I can't go home. You broke my heart. You know, maybe it's some kind of imprinting, as if you were a newborn duckling and ballettamrhein was the first moving object your eyes caught, and you follow it without a second thought since then. Maybe you would like other ballet companies even more. There is something that contradicts your theory. What? That puppet in your hand. Which puppet? That puppet. Oh. I don't understand. It is called foreshadowing. New dancers will come, good dancers, and even better dancers. And most of the old ones also stayed. Just go home and let us do our job. Why do you care? You don't even dance here. How do you know? You turned off the notifications on the company's Facebook page, and you haven't visited their website for a while, because you are grieving. You know what? You are right. I go home. I have to draw this whole thing anyway. Give back my inspiration.